Ultimate Collectibles here. I decided to film a impromptu review on this piece. Forgive my hair. I've been filming some other pieces and it's cold outside, so I've been wearing a hat. But if you watch this channel to look at my hair, that's probably creepy. But I wanted to do this piece right here because I got a notice from Sideshow the other day that they're still available on their website, which just blows my mind, and I'm going to tell you why. Ultimate Collectibles here with Sideshow's premium format Freddy Krueger piece. So technically most premium formats are about a quarter scale. If you don't know scales, quarter scale means it's 1/4, third scale means 1/3, quarter scale 1/4. 1/4 smaller than an actual human being. So hypothetically, just for easy math, if the human being or the character was 8 feet tall, the quarter scale would be 2 feet tall. Make sense? Got it? Good. So this is Sideshow's Freddy Krueger premium format. They made two versions of this. One is the collector's edition, which is displayed here. And then the other is the exclusive version, which is sold out. And the difference between that is the exclusive version has this switch out piece that I took a stock photo from that you can look at right here. I got the collectors a long time ago, probably over a year ago, because the exclusive was either sold out. I'm not sure why. There were 600 of the exclusive, there's 1,200 of the collectors, and as I said, this is still available on Sideshow's website, which kind of blows my mind. I haven't actually seen any other Freddy pieces in person, but I love this one, and it's a steal, especially right now. I think it's under $400 or right around there with free shipping. So if you are a horror fan or a Freddy fan, jump on this right away. It is just a few different pieces. It comes with the base, Freddy Krueger himself. His head is a magnet, and then both his left and right hands are also magnets. So very easy to put together. He is mostly sculpted, but his pants and shirt are mixed media. And one thing I really like about this piece is the base is small. It's a space saver, so a lot more room to collect. And I have him with a few other horror villains and then a few more horror ones coming in. So concept and design. First of all, Freddy is sitting on this very cool Freddy-like base. So first of all, it's very engineering, kind of like what his home base, as I call it, always looks like in the nightmares. That industrial warehouse where there's coppers and piping and machinery and things like that. And then all around the base, which we'll talk a little bit more when we talk about Sculpt and Paint, is different horror scenes from the different Freddy movies, which I love that. It's kind of like an Easter egg, and it really displays Freddy. This is what I would call, overall, this is a museum piece. So you also hear, if you're newer to collecting or you're just not into collecting that much, there's museum poses, which basically the character is standing ready to have his picture taken, which this would qualify for that. And then there's action dynamic poses where the character is in the middle of an action, whether that's attacking somebody or defending himself or showing off his power. And then moving up Freddy, he's just sitting there with a human skull in his left hand and showing off his famous glove, his Freddy fingers in his right hand. And he has the coolest sneer on his face. It's almost, I'm a badass, come get me, I'm Freddy Krueger. It's a great museum style pose on this, and I think Sideshow knocked it out of the park with their concept and design. Sculpt and Paint, starting at the bottom. So first I want to focus on the industrial part of the base. First of all, there's a good job sculpting in the piping and the tubing and the wiring and the rivets and the different metal brackets and water pipes and things of that nature. Not only do I like the detail in the sculpt from the couplings to the connections, but the paint is very good as well. So on the base itself, there's about probably couple different colors in there, a couple dozen different colors probably, to show that industrial wear and tear, and it looks like something that's had water washed over it over time, and there's, you know, coal and different, you know, colors of blacks and rust and yellow and red and gray, and I could go on forever. And it has this really cool aged weathering effect, just like his home base or hideout or, you know, dream world would look like in the movies. And I think they knocked it out of the park. And there's also even some cracks to show some wear that are sculpted in there, and I love this base. I think it's done very, very well. I know ECC has the new 1/3 Freddy coming out, and that base looks amazing as well. It's very different, it's very big. I did not like the portrait on that Freddy, so I stuck with this guy, considering he was about 1/4 the price. And then moving up to Freddy himself, starting at his boots, they are sculpted. I think they did a good job. It's not amazing, but it is good. It's very basic. I wish they maybe would have used a few different colors. I don't like that it matches the base so much. It almost doesn't differentiate. But his laces are sculpted in there nice, and I like the sculpt in his shoes. It shows the bends where a traditional boot or shoe would if you're walking on them a lot. And even the treads on the bottom look very good as well. And then mixed media, his pants, I mean, they're mixed media pants. I mean, they don't feel cheap. They feel like you expect they would. Traditional Freddy costume, brand pants. Brown pants. Then moving up, he has his traditional Freddy striped red and black sweater, and I love how they did add all the tears on the bottom to kind of keep it movie accurate. I like the skull a lot. It's obviously charred, burnt alive. If you don't know the story of Freddy, that's how he died. He was burned alive. So it's kind of an Easter egg to me. It could they could have done any type of skull, but it's sculpted very well, and they have some different colors in there, and I don't know if it's a QC issue or if it was on purpose. Not only do they have the black, but a little few pieces of red and almost some copper tones. If it was on purpose, it looks really good. If it was an accident, it still looks really good, so I don't really care. His hands, very deteriorated, very old, just like his skin. I like how his nails almost look like he was trapped in a hole. Silence the Lambs, it puts lotion on its skin. He's trying to get out, and I think they stayed very true to his left hand at least. His right hand, I think, is a great representation of his glove. I think they're actually real metal, and it's spot on for his glove. The sculpt and design on that is perfect, I think. One thing I don't like is his middle finger is kind of going in a direction I don't think it normally would, but again, that's really nitpicky, and for a $400 piece, I think it's done great. Then I'm going to go to his hat really quick. Traditional Freddy hat. I wish there was a little more variation in color in this. It looks good from afar, but up close it kind of looks cheap, almost looks plasticky, even though it's not. So they could have done something different with that, I think. And then his portrait, and I love his portrait. I think it's done very well. He is, as I said, sneering. He has his skin abnormalities all over from being burnt alive, where you can see other layers of his skin below, and you can see his muscle vein groups, and the different shadings on there I think are perfect. You have the flesh tones and the different reds, darker and lighter, and some pinks, and the way it's sculpted in all over, I think it's spot on. I think they did a perfect job with this. Even a little bit of his ear has a piece missing to make him creepier. And then moving on to his face, the likeness of Robert, the character who played Freddy in the original movies, I think is perfect. The nose is a tiny bit too big, as Robert Englund does have a big nose, but it's a little fatter than I think he is in the movies. But again, this is being very nitpicky. Eyes are done very well. There's kind of a gloss on them, and you have the whites and the big browns. His pupils are very wide, but for this pose I think it works well. And then lastly, his teeth. You can see a little bit of his gums, but his teeth are very blackened where they hit the gums, and then very yellowish, dirtyish right below, and almost looks like he needs braces, which he did in the movie. he didn't need braces, but he had teeth. I guess he did need braces, but that wouldn't have been as scary if Freddy had braces. So very great sculpt all around his gums and his lips and his nose and his eyes, and the paint complements it very well. So that's a quick review. If someone's out there surfing, whether they should buy this, whether Sideshow is sold out by now, as I said, right now there's still some available, or if they're buying it secondhand, great Freddy piece. There's so many quarter scale other villains out there, some great Jasons to put it with. I have him facing Crystal Lake Jason, and they look great together. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. Please comment, please subscribe. If you're going to make a smart-ass remark, please do that as well, because again, it helps my readings, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Take care.